Hi everyone, welcome to your maths lesson. Today we are learning to order numbers within 50. So we've been comparing two numbers over the last couple of lessons, and today we're going to be comparing and ordering more than two. So our success criteria is identify the numbers being compared firstly, use resources to identify which number is the smallest or least, use resources to identify which number is the largest or greatest, and then order the numbers from either from least to greatest or greatest to least. So let's start with our fast five questions. So it's all about finding numbers on the 100 square today, but it's not as simple as it might sound because it's not just numerals. We've got some number words, we've got some addition in the questions as well. So pause between each question to work it out and find it, and then come back at the end and we'll see if we can find all those numbers. Okay, so number one, what does this number say and can you find it on the 100 square? Then number two, what is this number? Find it on the 100 square. Number three, can you work this out and find the number on the 100 square? Then number four, have a read of what this says, work out the number and find it. And then number five, again, read what that says there and then find the number on the 100 square. Okay, so number one, we've got a number word here. Did you read it? It says 14, 14. And we know that teen numbers are the numbers that have got 1 10 and some ones. So 14 has got 1 10 and 4 ones. So I need to look down my 100 square to find where the teen numbers are. And here they are. Did you find number 14? Amazing. Right, and number two, what does this number say? 3 10s and 9 1s is 39. So look on the 100 square for the row that has the 30s. And there is 39. Oops. There's 39. Did you find it? Amazing. Then number three, we've got an addition here, 20 add 2. Now remember, if we are adding a 2-digit number where the second digit is a 0, then that means that there are 0 ones. So 2 10s and 0 ones add 2 ones is 22. 2 10s and 2 1s, 22. And then find it on the 100 square. We look for the 20s. There it is. Did you find 22? Amazing. Then number four says 1 more than 49. So we need to find the number 49. So I'm looking for the row that has the 40s. Looking down, here it is. Look across to 49, and if we're finding 1 more than a number, we need to look at the next number, the number that comes after, which is 50. Did you find 50? Superstar. And then number 5, 1 less than 31. So again, we need to find this number, 31. So I'm looking for the 30s. Here it is. Oh, and here is 31, but we need to find 1 less. So if we're finding 1 less than a number, it's the number that comes before. And so that means we need to go to the end of the row above 30. Did you find 30? Brilliant. Okay, so we're back to a true or false question today from Stevie. So Stevie says 13 is less than 31. Is that true or false? Pause the screen to work it out. Okay, let's see if we can use our Deans to compare it. So 13 has got 1 10 and 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. And 31 has got how many 10s? That's right, 3 10s and how many ones? 1 1. So 3 10s and 1 1. Oh, sorry, that's only 2 10s. Let's get another one. 3 10s and 1 1. Right, now do you remember what we learnt yesterday when we're comparing numbers, looking at the 10s first? So pause here to have a think, to remember what we said about when we're comparing two numbers and looking at the 10s. Right, so did you remember that we compare the 10s first, and if a number has more 10s, then it is the greater number, or if a number has less 10s, it is the smaller number. So we can see that in 13, there's only 1 10, in 31, there's 3 10s. So we can know straight away, without even thinking about the ones, that 13 is less than 31, because 1 10 is less than 3 10s. So that was true, Stevie. You're absolutely right. I wonder how you worked it out at home. Okay, so here's our comparing vocabulary. So it's a lot of the same as yesterday, but we've added some more in as well. So we're still comparing, we're still looking at different numbers, different groups, and talking about which groups are less, which are more, and using all that different vocabulary that we have down here. So let's remind ourselves. So here is our less than symbol. So less, fewer, smaller are all ways that we can talk about a number that is less. But then we've got these new words here. We've got least, fewest, and smallest. Now those words all mean if you're comparing a variety of different numbers or more than two numbers, and it's talking about the number that is smaller than all the other numbers. And then over here, we've got our more than or greater than symbol, or bigger. These all mean the same thing. But then we've also got some new vocabulary over here. We've got most, greatest, and biggest. So that means when you're comparing numbers, that the number that is the most or the greatest or the biggest is bigger than all the other numbers. So here we've got the word order. So that's what we do when we compare more than two numbers. So we've got 3 different numbers here that we're comparing, which means that we can order them. So we've got 1 sheep is less than 7 chicks, which is less than 8 rabbits. So we've ordered the animals from least to greatest. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's start off by ordering some numbers and some pictures up to 20, because in our place value to 20 unit before, we have already practiced ordering and comparing these numbers. So just to refresh our memory, we've got 4 different numbers here. So what does this first number say? Can you tell me? That's right, it says 13. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the number 13 on this number line, and I'm going to circle it. Okay, then what is this number? That's right, 16. So I'm going to find and circle 16. Then we've got some Deans. What does this number represent? So we have 1 10 and 1 1, 11. And then what does this number represent? That's right, 8. There are 8 counters in the 10 frame. So straight away, by circling those numbers on a number line, we can see the order that these numbers go in. So if I write it at the bottom, I'm going to write, because we're ordering from least to greatest, it's really important that we know which way we are ordering it so that we get it right. So least, if we remember rightly, means the smallest number. So the first number is going to be what? 8. And then what's next? 11. Then 13. Then 16. Did you write them in that order too? Amazing. So let's have a try with these numbers this time. We are going to go from order from greatest to least. So this time we start with the greatest number, the biggest number. Right, let's do the same as we did before. So how many have we got here? Okay, and then find it on the number line. And then do the same for the other 4 numbers. So pause the screen here to work out what each number is. You can circle it on a number line or your 100 square at home if you've printed that off, or you can just do it by looking at the screen. So pause here to have a go at that and then order the numbers from the greatest to the least. Okay, let's go through all of that together and we can see if you were right. So in this 10 frame here, we have got 9 counters. So I'm going to circle 9. And then this number here says 19. And then the Deans are showing me 1 10 and 4 ones, so 14. And then what number is this? 17. So those are our 4 numbers. And remember, we meant to order from greatest to least. So what is the greatest number? Let's see if you got this right. 19 is the greatest number because it comes furthest along the number line out of the 4 numbers that we are comparing and ordering. So 19, and then what's next? 17. And then what? 14. And then finally, 9. So we've ordered the numbers from greatest to least. 19, 17, 14, 9. Okay, so now we're using some bigger numbers. We've got our Deans to represent these numbers. We're going above 20 this time, numbers up to 50. So I don't have my number line to help me, but do you remember what we talked about when we're comparing numbers and looking at the tens? We've talked about it a few times now, haven't we? So I can see that all 3 numbers have got 3 tens. So they are all numbers in the 30s. So we can't order them based on the tens. We need to look at the ones. So let's work out what numbers are. So firstly, we have got 3 tens and 6 ones. 3 tens and 6 ones, 36. Then this number shows me 3 tens and 3 ones, 33. And then this representation shows me 3 tens and 8 ones, 38. So comparing the ones then, because we know that the tens are the same in each number, and we're ordering from the least to the greatest, that means that 33 is the least? In fact, I'm going to write that down here. So I'm going to use, there we go. So 33 is the least because 3 ones is less than 6 ones and less than 8 ones. So 33 is the least. And the greatest number is 38 because 8 ones is more than 6 ones and more than 3 ones. So that must mean that the number that goes in the middle is 36. So I've ordered those numbers from the least to the greatest. 33 is the least, then 36, and then 38 is the greatest. So now I'm going to use my symbols to compare them as well. So 33 is less than 36, and 36 is less than 38. Okay, time for us to do one together now. So your first job is to look at each of the 3 representations and work out what number they show. So pause the screen here just to count each representation and work out the number. Okay, so the first representation, it's a bit smaller. The first representation, we have got 3 10s and 6 1s. 3 10s and 6 1s is 36. Then the next picture shows me 4 10s and 3 1s, 43. And then the last picture shows me 2 10s and 8 1s, 28. So did you work out all of those numbers? Amazing. So now we know that. Can you pause the screen again to see if you can work out how to order those numbers from the least to the greatest? Pause here. Great. Now, did you look at the 10s first? I hope you did. If not, then let's have a look now. So if we look at the 10s and compare the 10s, we can see that this time each number has got a different number of 10s. So I'm looking for the number that has got the fewest 10s in it. So 36 has 3 10s, 43 has 4 10s, 28 has 2 10s. So 28 must be the least. So I'm going to put 28 here. Now let's have a look at the greatest. So which number has the most amount of 10s, the greatest number of 10s? 43, yes, because 4 10s is more than 3 10s and more than 2 10s. So 43 is the greatest, which must mean that 36 goes in the middle. Did you order them in that way as well? Brill. Now, if you haven't added your inequality symbols yet, then pause the screen here to have a go at adding those in, and then we'll come back and see if you're right. Okay, so we're still ordering from the least to the greatest like we were last time. So we need to use this symbol, the less than symbol. So 28 is, 28 is less than 36, and 36 is less than 43. Let's just move those closer together so we can see it a bit clearer. Okay, lovely. Did you use the right symbols as well? Great. Now we have only got the numbers this time, so you can use what you know, you can use your resources at home to have a go at building these numbers if you like, or using 100 square, and then ordering from the least to the greatest again. So pause the screen here to have a go, and then come back to see if you're right. Okay, so hopefully you remember that when we look at a number, a two-digit number, then we can tell how many tens and ones it has, because the first digit is how many tens it has and the second digit is how many ones it has. So if we remember that, and we can also remember that comparing numbers and ordering numbers, we look at the tens first, then I can see that 48 has got 4 tens, 19 has got 1 10, 25 has got 2 tens. So which number has the least tens? 19, doesn't it? 19 has the least. So that is my first number if I'm ordering from least to greatest. And which number has the most tens? Which number is going to be the greatest number? That's right, 48 has got 4 tens. So it is the greatest number. Which must mean that 25 goes in the middle. And if you haven't put those inequality symbols in yet, then again, pause the screen here to add them in and then see if you're right. Okay, so 19 is less than 25 and 25 is less than 48. How did you get on with that? Great job, you've worked so hard. So now it's time for us to head over to Teams, where we'll have some activities along these lines for you to have a go at as well. Okay, see you later, everybody.